Welcome to Engineering Success Profile Editions with our very special guest, the amazing Yewande Akinola, MBE. Hi, Yewande.
Hi, hello,
Hi.
Jamie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for being on the Profile Editions.
Not at all. You don't know how much of a pleasure it is to be on your show, because that's what it is. I think it's a cool show.
Thank you. That's very nice. Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Can we start then right at the beginning? What was your route into the engineering industry?
Right. Okay. So I for a long time wanted to be an architect. Right. So I was that kid who always imagined, she could live in a better house. Not
Yeah.
that I wasn't grateful for the house that we lived in, but I always just kind of allowed myself to imagine what, it would be like to live in a funky house,
Yeah.
and, to be able to also design better living conditions for the people around me.
Yeah.
So I used to spend hours on end just kind of building all these, models in our living room.
Right.
And for a long time, I just, used to really lose myself into this world of imagination.
Yeah.
And that was the plan for a very long time.
Right.
And then a lot of people know this, but my mom got involved. She
Right.
she thought that she might be able to convince me to study engineering by pretty much telling me that, engineering offered lots of different opportunities. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it could be more than buildings, it could be power and transport and water.
Yes.
And obviously as a 15, 16-year-old, right, your parent tells you to do something and your natural instinct is really to do the opposite.
Yeah. That's right. Yes.
So she must have done a good job, because I decided to kind of, go with the flow
Yeah.
for as far as I thought it would kind of take me.
Yeah.
And so I applied to 6 universities, 4 to study architecture,
Right.
and 2 to study engineering.
Yeah.
And then I got a place at a university studying engineering for developing countries.
Right.
It was titled Engineering and Appropriate Technology. And I just thought, wow, being able to design stuff that would have an impact on people's lives, versus architecture.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that was it. I decided to give engineering a chance, went for it, and zero regrets today.
Fantastic. Yeah. So what skills do you think are needed to become an engineer?
Right. So I usually always just kind of think it's creativity.
Yeah.
And we'll come to this later, but I think engineering is all about creativity.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, the mechanisms for becoming an engineer are being able to, have a basic understanding of mathematics.
Yeah.
And concepts as, taught in maths. Yes, you need, physics. Yes, you need to, have an interest in how the world works, whether it's through design and technology.
Yeah.
But I would say the main underlying fuel for becoming an engineer is to have a thirst, an interest in being creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Yeah. So, often people have quite a narrow view of engineering, but how would you describe it?
Right. So I think engineering for me is about making our world a better place.
Yeah.
Simple as. we think of everything in the built environment, really right from the moment we wake up in the morning, when we wash our teeth, when we, have a quick shower, jump into our cars or on a bus.
Yeah.
We are surrounded by engineered products and engineered experience, right?
Yeah.
The beds that we sleep on, right, have been manufactured, have gone through an engineering process.
Yeah.
The brushes that we use to, whether it's an electric brush or a normal kind of manual brush, has gone through a manufacturing process, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the doors that we open to leave our homes, right? They're made of materials that have been engineered, right?
Yeah.
Every single thing, the bus that we get on has been designed, to take so many people. It's got an engine in it. These days we're looking at, green energy. Buses are looking to make the most of solar energy, of, electric charging. So it's pretty much everything about our existence, everything around our experiences. And that is what takes it from that narrow view to a broad reality.
But there's so many different disciplines within engineering. How do you choose the right path for yourself?
Right, so that's a very good question. My view is that that's a question you keep on asking yourself throughout your career as an engineer. I always tell young people, don't be so worried about finding that perfect discipline, early on. In my how many years as an engineer, I've been a buildings engineer, I've been a manufacturing engineer, I've gone through different loops and different, reiterations of what I kind of imagined I would be.
Yes.
Now, in terms of, but you obviously have to start somewhere. And that is the main thing, starting. And in terms of starting, it pretty much is, finding that thing that you think, what, I am interested to know more about this. Right? I'm interested to explore, whether it's power systems, whether it's computer systems, whether it's buildings. I'm interested to know more about how buildings work and how people are able to live comfortably in buildings, and how air is circulated through buildings, or how, airplanes come together, or how cars are made. If you can find that one thing that you feel you want to know more about, go on the journey, start your engineering journey, exploring that thing in a type of engineering, and then give yourself the freedom to then decide, 6 years into the process, that, okay, you know what, actually, I've learned more about what I started off in, but I'm interested to know more about, what happens in the manufacturing world, so I'm going to explore it. But I keep on saying to people, don't be, it's not, a career that, limits you. It's not a career that, you start off in something and have to do for, for the rest of your life. It's forever giving. And that's what makes it so exciting.
So would you say that's similar with choosing a university? Because obviously there's lots of university, lots of different courses in engineering. What advice would you give to somebody trying to choose that starting point, with so many options out there?
Yes. So with universities, right, I always kind of think back at my time. And for me, I had the option of all these universities, right? But then I had to kind of find where the stars aligned.
Right, yeah.
Where the stars aligned. So where I kind of thought, what, I would be okay with the course. I would be okay with the location. I would be okay to have conversations with the tutors and with the professors and with the lecturers.
Yeah.
And that means different things to different people, because at the end of the day, right, university experience is what you make it to be.
Yes. Yeah.
How involved you get in all the different activities. So I went to Warwick, and the thing for me, you know, was obviously a degree that gave me, you know, a platform to learn how to, you know, be able to give back and design for my community. I grew up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was so keen to be able to do work in Africa. In addition to that, I was so keen to meet people from lots of different places.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to get so excited at the fact that, you know, it had such a huge international community.
Yeah.
And that might be it for, you know, for somebody watching,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also, you know, their interest might be sports as well. You know, they might want to do engineering and sports.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, a university that has a good sports program, as well as a good engineering program would be, you know, a perfect combination. So I would say, you know, find a university where the stars align for you, where you can get that fuller experience, right? Where you
Yeah.
can have a great 3 years, or an apprenticeship scheme.
So engineering can open up the whole world to you. Can you share with us some of the projects that you've worked on and whereabouts in the world they were?
You're right. You know, and engineering opens the world to you because it's that universal language, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can be an engineer in this country and apply the same engineering concepts to other parts of the world, and that's
Yeah.
what makes it so exciting. I have had the opportunity to work on, you know, all sorts of projects in this country. So schools projects, for example, office buildings. I've worked on airports. I've worked on train stations. I've also had the opportunity to also work on water and water sustainability projects
Yeah.
in some African countries as well.
Right.
And that's been really, really fun.
Yeah.
Different challenges, different, you know, design parameters, incredible people, great teams just working together. I've had the opportunity to work in the Far East as well,
Right.
working on some incredible super high-rise buildings, and we're
Okay.
talking, you know, 100-story tile.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And just navigating, you know, the incredible ambition and possibilities, you know, in the Far East really opened my eyes to the extent of, you know, engineering and the applications of engineering
Yeah.
concepts. You know, developing, you know, great water supply systems, or, you know, things like water park, different, well, the word I'm looking for is rides,
Right. Yes.
water rides,
Yeah. Yeah.
dolphin rides, um, what we call lazy rivers, you know, on projects for, like, you know, water park resorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really challenged me as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like you know, I've been really lucky to experience different countries and different cultures through engineering.
Yeah. 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 So for you, what's the most challenging part of being an engineer?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, like, okay, so you know, engineering is you know, it has its different, you know, aspects to it, right? So you can imagine you come up with an idea, and you have to kind of convince other people that that idea is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it is what the project wants, what the project needs. And I think I found the process of, getting people on board the most difficult, right? Because with the engineering, you can always prove the engineering. You can prove that the engineering works, right? You can do the calculations if you know what the right calculations and the right methodology is. But then there's almost like a social stroke political side to it.
Yes.
You have to take people on a journey. You have to take people on a journey to see where that idea has come from. And it's pretty much like storytelling. And engineers are not usually the best at storytelling. We want to get into the engineering. So we have to put ourselves outside of our comfort zone to also, kind of perfect that storytelling aspect to it. And that has been my most challenging, but you know what? It's been extremely rewarding.
Yeah. And that's my next question. What's the most rewarding part of being an engineer for you?
Do you know what the most rewarding part of being an engineer? Well, I guess there's two parts, if I'm allowed to, right? Is obviously when you have worked on that project and you've done the calculations and there have been the late nights and you've worked with teams on different time zones and you've nearly pulled your hair out because you really want to make sure that you've designed it to a T. You want to make sure that that water supply system is not going to cause any damage. There's not going to be any leak. There's not going to be any backflow. And that building is going to stand. And you've run all your simulations and even if there's going to be a massive storm in 3 years, right, that your building is still going to stand, right?
Yeah.
I've gone through all of that and it's gone on site and people have, read your design and they appreciate what it is that you're telling them to do and they've built it brick on brick.
Yeah.
And you built this amazing hotel, right? And it's been commissioned and there's a opening ceremony or you've got that week long of celebration, right? Because the building is open and people are going to come into that building and make beautiful memories and have wonderful experiences. In that moment you have huge satisfaction and pride. Right? Huge satisfaction and pride and just that feeling of gratitude. Now, the second thing is, engaging with people who are trying to work out if engineering is for them. And then you have conversations with them and just kind of maybe share a little bit of your story and share a bit of what you do and expose them to it. And then 5 years down the line, you bump into them in a meeting or in an event. And they are engineers. They are engineers and they are killing it, doing super well. That for me, just gosh, it is everything. It really is. It's everything.
So we know it's important to attract more people into engineering, especially women and individuals from diverse and underrepresented groups. What would you say to them?
I would say you can be anything that you want to be. You can do anything that you want to do. The world is going through what I like to call perception shedding. And that perception shedding is all the horrible perceptions that, a career option is only for a type of person, right? All of that is beginning to come off. And we are seeing the truth for what it is. We're seeing the fact that you can make magic pretty much doing anything that you want to do, whether it's engineering, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your background, irrespective of skin color, irrespective of orientation, irrespective of that, right? And hopefully, there are people out there that you can see who are, helping to speed the perception shedding, process along. But pretty much, the fact that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, it's a fact, it's a fact. Yeah, unarguable, a fact.
So what would your advice be to a future engineer?
So my advice to a future engineer is you are living in exciting times, right? You are living in a time where technology and engineering are needed in parts of the world, are extremely powerful in terms of making our world a better place. Engineering and technology are needing to replace some of the ancient, thinking, and I say ancient thinking, but incorrect thinking in our world, and really playing a part in liberating people to be the best that they can. And you have a role, an exciting role to play in that as well. Really an opportunity to bring a lot of fulfillment to yourself, to your immediate family as well, and to millions of people in our world. And with the resources as well to make that happen. There's so much out there, so much learning out on the internet, so much learning in colleges, so much learning through individuals, so much learning through Jamie. Absolutely. So I would say make the most of all that learning, because what it does is, all that learning and knowledge are like little droplets of water that come together to just make that mighty ocean, that great impact of possibilities. So I would say make the most of what is out there, of all the amazing knowledge that's out there. Learn to code, learn to engineer, learn to design, just learn to be creative.
And finally, just more generally, really, have you got any tips to give young people if they were having an interview? Obviously, it can be quite stressful. I wondered if you had any great tips or hints that you could share.
Yes. So with interviews, right, the first thing is to try not to be too stressed. Try not to see the situation as a stressful situation, right? You need nerves, and sometimes that helps you power your passion through, but don't make it feel like the world is pretty much crumbling on you, right? Because it's a process of you emerging to a new experience, right? So you really have to also be in the moment to understand what's happening and to appreciate what's happening. Now, the other thing I would say is check out the company that you're interviewing with. It's a two-way thing as well, whether you like them and whether they like you, right? So check them out. Check out what they're about, what their ethos is, what their ambitions are, for the world, where they see their role in making the world a better place, where they see their role in improving and making our world more sustainable, right? So do your research, read up on them, and find that one thing that you think you can be passionate about within the company. Right? Also, if you have the opportunity to, research the people who would interview you, get yourself on LinkedIn, research what they're about, what they're interested about, because at the end of the day, right, we work for our bosses. We're happy to work with our bosses as against, working for a company. You enjoy work because you enjoy working with your team and with your boss, right? Check them out as well. And then I'll say, if it's a construction company, if it's a power supply company, make sure that you have the basic knowledge on the principles that, they would be looking for from you.
Yeah.
Make sure you can do the calculations. Make sure you can explain the different concepts in easy language as well.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, those would be my top tips.
Yeah. Yewande, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to speak to you.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you very much. And thank you for this. I'm sure anybody watching would definitely have, you know, learn a lot as well and find this extremely useful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.